We've heard you talk about the former president. You have called him a fraud, a con artist. You've said
a lot worse times than that.
He's a New Yorker like you, and you have watched this.
Did you see what just happened? Donald Trump just delivered a brutal takedown of Robert De Niro on live television, and it wasn't even close. De Niro, who has spent years launching relentless attacks on Trump, finally met his match in a public showdown that left him utterly humiliated. This wasn't just another Hollywood celebrity ranting against a politician. This was a full-scale clash between a former president and an actor who thought he was untouchable. And the best part? Trump didn't just respond. He completely dismantled De Niro with facts, confidence, and a signature no-nonsense attitude.
If Donald Trump is elected president of the United States, in a kind of historical way, it's exciting because we will see the actual last president of the United States. It just won't work after that.
So you won't be thrilled if that happens?
How did it get to this point? De Niro has never been shy about his hatred for Trump. Over the years, he has called him every name imaginable, portraying him as a danger to America and an unfit leader. But the problem with constantly throwing punches is that, eventually, someone hits back. And when that someone is Donald Trump, the consequences are devastating. De Niro thought he could attack Trump without repercussions, but he was gravely mistaken. For years, De Niro played the role of the fearless Hollywood warrior standing against Trump. He used every public appearance to bash him, acting as if his opinion held the ultimate authority. But there was always a flaw in his approach. His attacks were based more on emotion than on facts. He wasn't debating policy or political strategy. Instead, he was just angrily shouting insults, as if that alone would make a difference.
You're a little punk! You're a softy! You're a nobody! You're probably soft! You're trash! I love you in Taxi Driver! Jump in the
And Trump, he watched, waited, and when the moment was right, he struck back. Not with wild rants or unhinged emotions, but with a calculated and devastating response that exposed De Niro as nothing more than a loudmouth looking for attention. Trump didn't need to scream, he didn't need to call names, he simply let De Niro's own words collapse in on themselves. What makes this even more satisfying for Trump's supporters is the sheer hypocrisy of Hollywood elites like De Niro. They love to lecture Americans about morality and politics while living in their gated mansions surrounded by wealth that most people can only dream of. They act as though they are the voice of the people when, in reality, they are completely disconnected from everyday struggles. De Niro represents this elitism perfectly: loud, self-righteous, and utterly out of touch.
Donald Trump proving that even though he is running for president, there is no Twitter feud that is too small for him. So actor Samuel L. Jackson was asked in an interview, who's a better golfer, he or Trump?
Okay, so Jackson responded by saying, oh, I am, for sure. I don't cheat. Trump apparently caught wind of this and did what he normally does when he gets annoyed by somebody, and he took to Twitter. And Trump tweeted here, I don't know Samuel L. Jackson, to the best of my knowledge. I haven't played golf with him and think he does too many TV commercials. Boring. Not a fan.
But Trump, he speaks the language of the people. He doesn't try to impress the Hollywood elite. He doesn't need their validation. And that's exactly why his response to De Niro was so effective. He wasn't just defending himself, he was standing up to the entire culture of self-important celebrities who think their opinions matter more than anyone else's. The media, of course, tried to spin the narrative in De Niro's favor. They painted him as the brave actor standing up against the big bad Trump. But here's the reality. Trump was never the one throwing the first punch. He was simply responding to years of baseless attacks. And when he finally hit back, De Niro crumbled.
Bobby, your favorite president won. Kamala lost. She lost so strongly. You were wrong. You're a loser. You're a total loser. This show sucks. You're going to get low ratings, Bobby. You're going to get low ratings.
What's even more ironic is how De Niro built his entire career playing tough guys on screen. Mob bosses, hardened criminals, men who don't back down. But in real life, He's nothing like the characters he portrays. When faced with a real fight, he panicked. When confronted with real opposition, he folded. The difference between playing a strong man in movies and being one in reality couldn't be more obvious. And now De Niro finds himself in a situation he never expected. Trump isn't just brushing off his insults, he's taking legal action. A $50 million defamation lawsuit is reportedly on the table, and De Niro has no way out. This isn't Hollywood, where he can rewrite the script or change the narrative. This is real life, and in real life, actions have consequences.
Okay, so we're having beef?
You're having beef because I guess you said in an interview that you were a better golfer than him, and then you told a story, is this true, that he signed you up for one of your golf clubs and didn't tell you?
Yeah.
So you had to pay, like...
No, I didn't pay. Okay. I got a bill that I didn't pay.
Okay.
Because I had no idea, and I had my assistant call and tell them I don't really belong to that club, and I haven't been there in 3 years. And they go, well, you are a member, and here's your member number. And they were charging me some pool fee for being at. I haven't been there, but.
Imagine De Niro sitting in a courtroom, forced to explain why he repeatedly accused Trump of the most outrageous things without a shred of proof. Imagine him squirming as lawyers pick apart his statements, exposing them as nothing more than baseless rage. This is not the kind of role he was prepared to play, and it's not just De Niro who should be worried. This sends a warning to every other Hollywood elitist who thinks they can attack Trump without facing any pushback. The days of unchecked celebrity arrogance may be coming to an end. If De Niro, one of Hollywood's most celebrated actors, can be taken down this easily, what does that mean for the rest of them?
Somebody did send me something today that said Trump said he didn't know me.
He said he didn't know you. I actually have his
tweet
right here.
Let me see the tweet.
This is very exciting. So there you go. It says, I don't know Samuel L. Jackson to best of my knowledge, haven't played golf with him, and think he does too many TV commercials. Boring, not a fan.
Not a bad thing.
Now, it's very interesting when Donald Trump says someone is out on TV too much, because, you know, he's with exposure, he thinks it's very careful to just barely be on TV at all.
Barely get.
Trump's dominance in this situation is nothing new. He has spent years battling the media, the political establishment, and the entertainment industry. Each time his enemies predicted his downfall, and each time they were wrong. De Niro is just the latest to learn this lesson the hard way. But beyond the personal battle between these two men, there's a bigger story here. This isn't just about Trump and De Niro, it's about a shift in power. For too long, celebrities have used their influence to push their personal agendas, believing that their status shields them from accountability. But Trump has proven time and time again that he doesn't play by their rules.
I played golf with him.
He claims...
I actually played golf with him with Anthony Anderson one day.
Gotcha.
And we were all playing together, and we clearly saw him hook a ball into a lake at Trump National in Jersey. And his caddy told him he found it.
Now, was the caddy soaking wet when he said this?
No, he was not. Yeah, he just took off running, and next thing you know, I got it, Mr. Trump. And you're like, oh, did you see a splash? We saw a splash.
Gotcha.
And he used to call me. I have another person that can verify that he knows me. He called me one day. I was here in New York, and he was always calling him, Samuel L., the Don. I go, who? The Don. Oh, Mr. Trump, how you doing? Yeah, you busy today? No. You want to play golf? Sure. Well, I'm not going to play, but I got a friend who wants to play, and we're going to play at my club in, it was over here, not in Manhattan, but...
Okay.
And that's why so many people support him. It's not just about politics, it's about standing up to hypocrisy. It's about refusing to be lectured by people who live in a completely different reality. De Niro represents the old way of doing things, where elites could say whatever they wanted without consequences. Trump represents the pushback against that system. As this situation unfolds, one thing is certain: De Niro is not walking away from this unscathed. His reputation has taken a massive hit. His credibility is in shambles. And the worst part? He did it to himself. Nobody forced him to attack Trump. Nobody made him dedicate years of his life to an anti-Trump crusade. He chose this fight. And now he's paying the price. And let's be real, this isn't even the biggest battle Trump has faced. He's taken on political opponents, government agencies, and entire media networks. Compared to that, an aging Hollywood actor is barely a challenge. This is light work for Trump, and he's handling it with ease. So what comes next? If this lawsuit moves forward, De Niro could be facing not just financial ruin, but total public humiliation. He has spent so much time trying to take Trump down, and now he's the one facing destruction. The irony is almost too perfect.
It was President Clinton,
Really?
who could also verify that Donald Trump knows me.
Wow. Here's the bummer.
And Don did show up, and he took Bill in and bought him a jacket and gave me nothing.
I got bad news for you. The one person that might not back you up right now in this story is Bill Clinton, because I don't know if he's going to want to say a story that he was golfing with Donald Trump either.
He didn't golf that day.
He didn't golf that day.
He did not golf that
So
day.
who did you end up golfing with?
With Mr. Clinton.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, Bill and I went out and played. Don showed up in the middle of the round, and we went into the clubhouse, and he gave Bill a jacket because it was a little chilly.
Wow. He didn't even ask you if you were cold?
No. I had a jacket.
But here's the thing. Trump doesn't even have to win the lawsuit for this to be a victory. The very fact that De Niro is now on the defensive is already a major blow to his credibility. No matter how this plays out, the damage is done. Have you ever noticed how Donald Trump never lets an attack go unanswered? Unlike other politicians who try to ignore criticism, Trump fires back with full force. Robert De Niro spent years making bold statements against him, assuming that his Hollywood status would protect him. But Trump is not the type to back down. His counterattacks are calculated, direct, and often devastating. When he responds, he does not just settle the score, he makes an example out of his opponent. De Niro underestimated this and is now facing the consequences of provoking a political heavyweight. Trump's ability to fight back has been a defining factor in his success. Whether it is the media, political opponents, or even celebrities, he refuses to be a passive target. Instead, he turns attacks into opportunities. This is why De Niro's words did not damage Trump the way he expected. If anything, they only serve to fuel Trump's momentum. Trump understands the media landscape and knows how to control the narrative. By addressing De Niro directly, he shifted the focus from the insults to De Niro's credibility, or lack thereof.
BS for decades, and despite that, he became president. And now we're watching him, 10 blocks from where we are right now, sitting in a courtroom as a criminal defendant. What do you think about that?
I think of how absurd it is. And this might be the one case where that could be it for him. It's a state case.
What makes Trump's counterattacks even more effective is that they expose the hypocrisy of his critics. De Niro, who built a career playing tough characters, suddenly appears weak when challenged. His entire image collapses under scrutiny. While he insulted Trump freely for years, the moment he faced legal repercussions, his confidence disappeared. This is the difference between someone who plays strong in movies and someone who demonstrates strength in real life. Trump does not just respond to criticism, he turns it into a spectacle, leaving his opponents scrambling to recover. For decades, Hollywood has tried to shape political opinions by pushing certain narratives. Celebrities like Robert De Niro have used their fame as a platform to criticize leaders they dislike, believing that their voices carry more weight than those of ordinary Americans. But something has changed. The influence of Hollywood in politics is weakening, and Trump has played a major role in exposing its flaws. And if there's one thing we know about Trump, it's that he doesn't stop once he has momentum. If De Niro thought this was bad, he should prepare for what's coming next. Because Trump isn't just defending himself, he's sending a message. A message that he's not afraid of Hollywood, he's not afraid of the media, and he's certainly not afraid of a washed-up actor trying to stay relevant. So if you've been enjoying watching this disaster unfold for De Niro, make sure you stay tuned, because this is far from over. Trump is only getting started, and it's only going to get worse for De Niro. Don't miss out on the next twist in this story. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment to stay updated. This is one showdown you won't want to miss.